Okay. Yeah, Pranav, tell me, Pranav, about the states of matter. Some points, very basic points.
Solids are tightly packed, liquids are somewhat loosely packed, and gases are very loosely packed.
Yeah, very good. That's all. So, when the solid is converted into liquid,
By heating.
Yeah, very good. So if we increase the temperature, solid is converted into liquid and liquid is converted into gas. Again, if we cool down this gaseous molecule, gas will be converted into liquid and liquid is converted into solid. So the best example we know is water. So if we increase the temperature to the ice cube, it will convert it into liquid. And again, if you increase the temperature to the liquid molecule, that is water, it will convert it into water vapor. Similarly, if you cool down the material, all will comes to the other states. So this is about the, so in order to convert the solid into liquid, liquid into gas, we need a heat molecule. We need a heat. And the reverse process, we need a cooling down the process. Cool down, the temperature has to be decreased. And next is classification of matter. So in the classification of matter, it is divided into two types, mixture and then pure substance. What is the difference between the mixture and then pure substance? Difference between the mixture and the pure substances. Yes? Yeah, Hydra Pranav.
Elements and compounds are in a mixed state, whereas pure substances are separate. Elements and compounds are not mixed.
Okay, but even though you said elements and compounds, they are mixed. Okay, but it comes under compounds only, right? Pure substance comes under the compounds. So mixture, we have two classes, homogeneous and heterogeneous. In pure substance, we have elements and compounds. Why it is, even though if we take any compound, that is NaCl, so we have two compounds, Na and Cl. So it is also mixture. But why we are saying it comes under pure and this all comes under the mixture? Yes, Subhashri.
Consist of more than one chemical entity without any chemical interactions.
Without any chemical interaction. Will you tell me once more? Say once more.
Mixture consists of more than one chemical entity
Okay, very good.
that is present without any chemical interaction.
Yes, very good, very good. So actually, why they are the elements and compounds? If you take in compounds, compounds is also and mixture substances. It is also mixed substances. By why it is comes under the pure substance means they have a fixed ratio. Compounds are prepared by fixed ratio. We are not able to we are not able to synthesize 5 gram of Na with 5 gram of Cl. It is not prepared from like that method. So we need a proper ratio for preparing all the compounds. But if we take a mixture, example for the homogeneous mixture, anyone example? Homogeneous mixture? Sugar solution, salt solution, these are all the homogeneous mixture. So if we take a 10 gram of sugar or 10 gram of salt in 10 liter of water, it is dissolved. And again, if you dissolve in 1 liter, they are also dissolved. So it does not be a fixed ratio. It is not in the fixed ratio, but pure substance are in the fixed ratio. It contains a correct exact value of compound. So this is the reason homogeneous and heterogeneous, they are mixture, and otherwise impure substances, and pure substance elements and compounds, they are pure substances because of fixed quantity. They are on the fixed ratio. Yeah, this is about this classification. So next is properties and their measurement. So if you see about the properties and their measurement, so in this physical property, so we want to know about the length, area, volume. These are all the physical properties, physical measure. So if we take any, so we want to cover our bed. So we want to know the length, we want to know the breadth, and we want to know the thickness. So these are all always needed. So in basic of SI unit, in terms of the SI unit, we'll tell like that. Length will be L and mass will be M and time will be T. These are all the points you already learned, right? Hope you have that much, not that much doubt in these points. Yeah. And what is a volume? Yes, Pranav, what is volume? And what is the difference between the mass and weight? Mass and weight. Difference between mass and weight, and what is volume?
Mass is the amount of matter in an object, and weight is the
Yes.
force.
Force exerted by gravity on an object. Simply, mass is nothing about, it is without gravity. So it is based on without gravity. But weight is with gravity. That is the difference between the mass and weight. Yes, Pranav, what is volume? Volume. A
Amount of
very,
space occupied by the object.
yeah. And what is the formula for the volume? Any formulas? Simply A cube. A cube is a formula for the volume. Yeah, right. This is A cube. Yeah, very good. And density. So density is nothing about mass by volume. That is a formula for the density. So the density denotes this, how much this type of molecules or contract in the particular volume. So this we are call it as a density. Density equal to mass by volume. And if you go with the density, if you go with the SI unit, what is an SI unit of mass? SI unit of mass is kilogram. So mass by volume means kilogram. And what is a volume unit, SI unit? Meter cube. So it is kg by meter cube or kg m to the power of minus cube. So this is the unit conversions. So it is similar for all the cases. Yes. So next is temperature. What is the SI unit of temperature? Yeah, Subhashri. SI unit of temperature?
Kelvin, ma'am.
Yeah, it is Kelvin. So this is some conversion. So if you want to convert this Kelvin into degree Celsius, so Kelvin equal to degree Celsius plus 273.15 degree. And if you convert the Fahrenheit from the degree Celsius to the Fahrenheit, this is the formula. Fahrenheit equal to 9/5 degree Celsius plus 32. This is the formula we have to use. So just take down the important points. Need not write all the points. Just take down all the points, not important points. Okay. So these are all the some problems. Yeah, Subhashri will take this one. Convert 27 degrees Celsius to Kelvin. So take down this one. And Pranav, you take down this problem. Room temperature is 293 Kelvin. Convert into Fahrenheit. So this is a formula. If anybody want to write the formula, take down the formula. So, Pranav, did you complete writing the formula?
No, ma'am. 1 minute.
Yes.
Ma'am, question.
Yes. Yeah, just a minute, Subhashri. We'll wait for Pranav.
Yes, ma'am. We can see the question.
Yes, yes.
First one, 77 degrees Celsius or 27, ma'am?
27. Convert 27 degrees Celsius to Kelvin. For Pranav, room temperature is 293 Kelvin. Convert into Fahrenheit. So go with the formulas. So if the formulas is in the form of this degree Celsius means, so Fahrenheit, the formula is in the form of degree Celsius. So convert the Kelvin into degree Celsius first and then go with the formula. Both of you got the answer? It is very simple question. Pranav?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what is the answer, Pranav?
It's 60.15 degrees.
60 point.
15.
Okay, what is the answer for Subhashri? Answer, Subhashri?
300.15.
Okay, it is 300 Kelvin. Okay, very good. And for Pranav, it is, what is the answer, Pranav? Did you got the 68 value Fahrenheit?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Little.
But you said something different, right?
Yeah, ma'am. 60, 68.
So do you done any mistakes in calculation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So next is scientific notation. What is scientific notation means? So we have a large number, sometimes very smaller number like this. So in order to represent in the simplest formula, so we are mentioning like this. So instead of 232.508, we are like this. We are writing like this, 2.32508 into 10 to the power of 2. And instead of writing 0.00116, we are writing 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 4. So the 10 to the power of square and 10 to the power of minus 4, this we are call it as a scientific notation. This is a scientific notation. And how do we multiply and divide the scientific notation means? How do we multiply and divide the scientific notations? Is, so if you know this, means tell me. How do we multiply and divide the scientific notation? So just see the image and tell me. Yeah, Subhashri. That is very simple.
By adding powers
Yeah.
and subtracting the powers.
Yeah, that's all. So if you multiplication means we are just adding the powers and division means we are subtracting the powers. That's all. And while doing in the addition and subtraction, scientific notation in addition and subtraction. So what is very, very important here means both should be in the correct order. Okay. That is here also 10 to the power of 4 means here also we needed 10 to the power of 4. But here it is 10 to the power of 3. So we want to convert into 10 to the power of 4. So how do we convert? So instead of writing 8.95 into 10 to the power of 3, so we are changing the decimal here. So it is 0.895 into 10 to the power of 3. So the power will be same. So just by adding 6.65 into, 6.65 plus 0.895, we are getting the answer. So similarly for the subtraction also. That's all. So here, in case of this multiplication and division, the order, the power order should be same. Power order should be just added, otherwise it is subtracted. But here the order of the power will be same in case of addition as well as a subtraction. Okay, any doubts? Yeah, significant numbers. What is significant numbers? Yeah, Pranav. So take it down this number, I will tell you. 0.0052. 0.0052. So how many significant numbers in this 0.0052?
4.
4. Why it is 4, Pranav?
We should consider the numbers of right side to the decimal numbers. Decimal point.
Right to the decimal point. Okay. So we'll see this one. Okay, where we have a no points. We have. Okay. Yes, so Shubhashri. Tell me, Shubhashri, what is your answer? Yeah, what is your answer?
4, ma'am.
No, it is not actually 4. So these are all the rules. I will dictate the rules, take down the rules. So these are all very bigger notes. I will short it down. So take it down this one, points. Non-zero number or significant. What is non-zero numbers? Yeah, Pranav. Non-zero numbers?
Anything but 0.
Yeah, okay. So non-zero numbers are significant. So example is 285. We have a 3 significant numbers. So here we are does not have any zeros. So it is 3 significant numbers. Yeah. So next is zeros before the decimal. Zeros before the decimal are not significant. Are not significant. Example 0.03 has one significant figure. One significant figure. Zeros before the decimal are not significant figures. Third point, zeros between non-zero numbers. Zeros between non-zero numbers are significant figures. Are significant figures. Example 2.005 has 4 significant figures. 2.005 has 4 significant figures. Next one, zeros at end having decimal or significant figures. Zeros at end having decimal or significant figures. 0.220, 0.2200. So 3 significant figures. Fifth point, zeros at end, no decimal are not significant figures. Zeros at end, no decimal are not significant figures. Example 100, one significant figure, but 100.0. So these are 4 significant figures because we are having a decimal here. Zeros at end, no decimal means they are not significant figures. They are not significant figures. Next one is scientific notation. Scientific notation like 4.01 into 10 to the power of 2. So how many significant numbers? How many significant numbers in this? Yeah, Pranav?
3, ma'am.
Yeah, it is right. It is 3. So we want to take it this one only. So it is equal to 3. Okay. So I will repeat the points. Non-zero numbers are significant numbers. Zeros before decimal are not significant numbers. Zeros between non-zero or significant figures. Zeros at end having decimal or significant. Then zeros at end, no decimal or not significant figures. Then finally scientific notation. So I will give some work. Tell me that. Yeah. So how many significant numbers, yes, Shubhashree, in this first point? How many significant numbers we have? In the A1. Yes. Pranav, you solved these 4 problems. This 4 set, the second set, and Shubhashree, you solved this first set. Yeah, Pranav, did you got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What is the answer for the first A? Second set A?
3, ma'am.
Yeah, 3. And for B?
3.
Yeah. And for C?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5. Good. And for D?
5.
Yeah, very good. Yes, Shubhashree. Subhashri, did you complete it?
Is it 6, ma'am?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, right. Second one,
Again, it's 6, ma'am.
is it 6? What is our second point? Yeah, Pranav.
Ma'am?
What is the answer for the second one, B?
4, ma'am.
Yeah, it is 4. Second point in our rules is zeros before the decimals are not significant figures. Okay, Shubhashri. So this 3 are not considered, only this 4 only. 3, 0, 4, 8. These are all the significant figures. And what is the answer for the C in first side?
4, ma'am.
Okay. So what is our point? Fifth point.
Zeros at the end having no decimal or not significant.
Okay. Having no decimals or not significant number, right?
Yes, ma'am.
No decimal. So here we are having a decimal, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this zeros is also considered, okay? This zeros is also considered. So how many?
5.
Yeah. And what is the answer for the fourth one? D?
Is it 7, ma'am?
Yeah, right, 7. Because zeros after are considered. So it is and 7 only. Okay, very good. So this is about the significant number. And what is the precision and accurate? Precise and accurate. Meaning of precise and accurate, that's all very simple. Precise and accurate. So precise means they are related to closeness. They are somewhat correct. Okay. And accurate means exactly that is the value. Precise means they are related to closeness. So if it is, and 5 means 4.9, we have said that that is a precise value. 4.9 is a precise value. And accurate means it should be 5. It is not 4.9 or it is not 5.01. It is should be right. Okay. Yeah, this is a precise and accurate. And how do we add and subtract the significant numbers? What are all the rules we have to follow while adding and subtracting the significant numbers? Yes. So we want to go with the fewest decimal places. So if you consider here 36.01, 0.4 and 15. So which one has the fewest decimal places? Fewest decimal places.
15.
Yeah, 15. So the right answer is it should be a 21. And if we take a C option, 0.003 plus 3.5198, 0.0118. So which one has the fewest decimal place here? Fewest decimal place. So after the decimal, the number should be less. That is the fewest decimal place. Yes, Pranav.
0.003.
Yeah. So just adding all this number, we want to write only the 3 digits. After the decimal, we want to write only 3 digits because 3-digit number is the less number, less decimal place here. Okay. And if you consider here 45,001 minus 56.355 minus 78.44. So here the fewest decimal place is this one because it does not contain any decimal places. So the right answer is B1. Yeah. And this is a rule for addition as well as subtraction. But in terms of the multiplication and division, so we want to go with a significant number. So if you take 2.5 and 1.25, so we are getting 3.125. In this two, which one has the least significant number? Least significant number. How many significant number in 2.5?
2.
How many? Yeah, very good. Here it is 2. And how many number in 1.25 significant number?
3.
Yeah, 3. So which one is least here?
2.4.
2.5. That is 2 significant number. So just multiplying, we are getting 3.125. The final answer should contain only two significant number. Okay. So the right answer is 3.1. Why it is 3.1? Because in 3.1, we are having two significant number. It should match us with the least significant number. Okay. So this is the one problem. Yeah. Tell me the answer for this question. 6.08 into 1.023. Yes, Shubhashri. How many significant number? Which one is least significant number? And tell me the right one. Did you got the answer, Shubhashri?
Is it 6.21?
Yeah. Yeah, right. It is 6.21 because 6 point, it is three significant number. We have four significant number and the final answer should contain the three significant number. Yeah, very good. Yes. So next is dimensional analysis, nothing about 1 inch equal to 2.54 centimeter. That we are called as a dimensional analysis. That is 1 meter equal to how many centimeters? 1 meter. 1 meter equal to how many centimeters?
100.
Yeah, these are all this dimensional analysis. So we want to conversion. Conversion is very, very important. So while doing the problems, we know that conversions, centimeter into meter or meter into centimeter. So these are all the things is very, very important doing a problem while doing problem. So next is law of chemical analysis. That is law of conservation of mass. Very simple. So if you know this term conservation, what is the meaning of conservation? Conservation, it is protected, right? Conserved, protected. So law of conservation of mass is nothing about. So while during the reaction, before the reaction and after the reaction, the mass of the compound does not change. It is equal to before the reaction and after the reaction. So for example, so A plus B, we are getting an AB means, so this is an 50 gram and this is a 50 gram. So 50 plus 50, we are getting an 100 gram. This we are calling it as a law of conservation of mass. Before the reaction, it will be equal to 100. And after the reaction, it will be equal to 100. So this we are calling it as a law of conservation of mass. So here the mass cannot be changed or the mass cannot be changed, or it is not created, or it is not destroyed. So this is the law of conservation of mass. And next one is law of definite proportion. So law of definite proportion means, so for example, if you take an C2H5OH, in this C2H5OH molecule, so we are having a 2 carbon and we are having a 6 hydrogens, and we are having a 1 oxygen. So the weight of each carbon and the weight of the hydrogen and weight of oxygen will be the total, right? All will be the total of the C2H5OH. So this we are calling it as a law of definite proportions. So here 2 atom of carbon. What is the weight of carbon? 12. And weight of hydrogen? 1. Weight of oxygen is 16. So it will be equal to 46. Totally 46. That's all. And percentage. So this is about the molecular weight. In terms of percentage, what is the weight of carbon here? Carbon in this C2H5OH. H5OH, what is the weight of carbon?
24.
Yeah, 24. And what is the molecular weight of C2H5OH?
46.
Yeah, so it is 24 into 46, 24 divided by 46 into 100. This we are calling it as a weight percentage. Okay. Next is law of multiple proportions. So for example, carbon upon reaction with oxygen, we are getting an carbon monoxide. Similarly, carbon again reacting with excess of oxygen, we are getting an CO2. So in both the cases, reactant will be same. but the product will be differed. Okay, so this type of reaction comes under law of multiple proportions. It is explain the ratio between CO and CO2. So here hydrogen and oxygen, we are getting an water H2O, and here also hydrogen and oxygen reacted and we are getting an H2O2. Okay, we are getting an H2O2. So the weight of H2O is an 18 gram and weight of H2O2 is an 34 gram. So it is a ratio of 18 gram with 34 gram. That's all. The products are differed here. It explain about the ratios of these two products, but the reactant is same. So this we are called as a law of multiple proportions. And then Gay-Lussac's law. So what is Gay-Lussac's law? It explains about the volumes. It completely explains about the volumes of reactant. So here H2 and oxygen is combined. We are getting an H2O, and this is a 2 volume. Here it is an 1 volume. So it is an 2:1. That's all. For example, carbon and oxygen mean it is 1:1. It will give an carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide. So this is 1:1 ratio. That's all. And Avogadro law, a very important law. So this law is based on the at same temperature and the pressure. At same temperature and the pressure, equal volumes of all the gases contains equal number of molecules. So what is the equal number of molecules? 1 mole of substance contains how many molecules?
6.023 into 10 to the power
10 to the power of 23. 10 to the power of 23. So at same temperature and pressure, all the molecules, equal volume of all the gases contains equal number of molecules. So this is what explained by Avogadro. Yeah. So next is Dalton atomic theory. So in Dalton atomic theory, so how the elements are arranged? How the elements are arranged? So elements are arranged by small atoms, right? Small atoms. So for each element, each atom is arranged, and particularly the whole atom we are called it as an element. Similarly, if you take a compound, so for example NaCl, so in the NaCl, each Na and Cl is arranged, that we are called it as a compound, and that has a different property. Na has a one different property and Cl has a different property. So this is what a compound molecules are arranged. And what is atomic mass? Atomic mass. Atomic mass. Yes, Shubhashri, atomic mass. Yeah, what is molecular mass, Pranav? Molecular mass. Subhashri don't know the answer. Is it like that, Subhashri? Simple. Atomic mass, mass of atom. Molecular mass, mass of molecule. That's all. So atomic, initially carbon 12 is taken as a standard. Why carbon 12 is taken as a standard means because it was a solid component compared with other isotope, carbon isotope, carbon proton, deuteron, tritium we have. So we have different isotopes. But hydrogen exists in the form of gaseous, but carbon exists in the form of solid. So it is very, very easy to measure the solid component. So due to this reason, carbon 12 is taken as a standard one. Okay. So atomic mass unit. One atomic mass unit is a fixed quantity. One atomic mass unit equal to 1.66056 into 10 to the power of minus 24 gram. Okay. And mass of atom of hydrogen in terms of, this is in terms of gram. Okay, this is in terms of gram. That is 1.6736 into 10 to the power of 24 gram. into the power of 10 to the minus 24 gram. And we want to convert into AMU, atomic mass unit. For that, 1.6736 into 10 to the power of mass of hydrogen in gram divided by mass of hydrogen. That is 1 atomic unit. 1.66056 into 10 to the power of minus 24. And we are getting 1.008. That is our final answer in terms of AMU. Okay, in terms of atomic mass unit. Molecular mass, that is nothing about weight of carbon plus weight of hydrogen. That's all. If we add the component, we are getting an molecular mass. And what is the difference between the molecular mass and formula mass? Pranav, do you know the answer? Molecular mass and formula mass? Yes, Pranav?
Molecular mass is the mass of a molecule, and formula mass is the mass of the compound.
Okay. So here we are done CH4. CH4 is a compound. Is it a compound or a molecule?
Yes, compound.
It is also compound, right? Then what is the difference between the molecular mass and the compound? I think Subhashri knows his answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what is the difference between the molecular mass and formula mass?
Molecular mass is calculated for non-ionic compounds and formula mass is calculated for ionic compounds.
Yeah, very good. So molecular mass is for the non-ionic compound. CH4 is a non-ionic compound, right? It is not dissociable because both the carbon and hydrogen both will be a non-metal. Carbon is also non-metal, hydrogen is also non-metal. So it is not an ionic compound. But in case of the formula mass is an NaCl. NaCl is Na plus Cl minus. One will be a metal and another will be a non-metal. So it is an ionic compound. So this is the difference between the molecular mass and then formula mass. Formula mass for the ionic compound, molecular mass for the non-ionic compound. And hope you know about the mole concept very well. So 1 mole of any compounds contains 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules. And they are setting, for example, if you go to any lab, they said you want to measure the 1 mole of NaCl. 1 mole of NaCl. So 1 mole of NaCl means how many grams? 1 mole of NaCl. Yes, Pranav, 1 mole of NaCl equal to how many grams? One mole of NaCl. Now 1 mole equal to 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23 number of particles. Okay, this is about the number of particles. Number of particle is nothing about, for example, if you speak about H2 molecule. H2 is a molecule. So how many number of molecules present in H2? 1 mole means it contains 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23 number of molecules. Based on gram? Based on, yes, Pranav?
For NaCl, 1 mole of NaCl in grams is 58.
Yeah, right. It is 58. So just by adding the atomic weight of Na and Cl, that is equal to 1 mole. Yeah, very good. If it is an H2 means that is equal to 2 gram. That's all. It is equal to 1 mole. Percentage compound we are already discussed. Yeah. Then empirical formula. So what is empirical formula? Any idea, Pranav? Empirical formula? Empirical formula. It is a shortest representation, that's all. Actually, the molecular formula of the compound is C2H4Cl2. So we want to write down in the shortest form. That we are call it as an empirical formula. So here 2 is taken as a common. So N value will be equal to 2 So the formula will be changed into CH2Cl. So this we are calling it as an empirical formula. The shortest formula is an empirical formula. And stoichiometry, about stoichiometry calculation, they are very simple. These are all the reactant and these are all the product. And the G denotes the gases. And then what is the 2? And this 2, what is 2? What is the name of this 2 here? That is called stoichiometry. Stoichiometric coefficient, right? Stoichiometric coefficient. And next one is limiting reagent. So you just understand the points. In case of any doubts, tell me, okay? Pranav?
Yes, ma'am.
What is a limiting reagent, Subhashri? Limiting reagent.
The reagents which are used completely in the reaction.
Yeah. So the reagent which is used completely to get the product, that we are called as a limiting reagent. Generally, the limiting reagent should be less in quantity, less in moles in all the cases. Okay. So next one is based on the mass percentage or the weight percentage, W by W percentage. So here mass percentage equal to, this is a formula, mass of solute divided by mass of solution into 100. I will dictate the formulas at last. Okay. And mole fraction equal to number of moles of A divided by number of moles of solution. So this is just a formulas, that's all. Molarity is indicated by the capital letter, number of moles of solute divided by volume of solution in letter. Molarity equal to number of moles of solute divided by mass of solvent in kg. Yeah, this is just a formulas. And balancing the equation, we are already know that. So in order to balance equation, they are given just a skeletal equation that is not balanced, C3H8O2 plus CO2 and H2O. So what we want to do first? So we want to find out the atom. That is present on both the sides. Okay. So here carbon. First we take a carbon. So how many carbon in the reactant side? Yes, Pranav. How many carbons in the reactant side?
1.
Yeah.
Three,
We have
three.
three. Yeah, 3 carbons. So here we are having a 3 carbons and here we are having only 1 carbon. So we want to balance this carbon. So due to this reason, we are added a 3 here. So carbon is balanced. So next we want to go with hydrogen. So how many hydrogen in the reactant side?
8.
Yeah, here we are having 8 hydrogen, but here we are having only 2 hydrogen. So we want to balance the hydrogen. So what we want to add to balance the hydrogen? Yeah, very good. So we want to add a 4 here. So hydrogen is balanced. What is the remaining one?
Oxygen.
Yeah, oxygen. How many oxygen in this reactant side?
2.
2. And in the product side?
10.
Yeah, 6 and then 10. 6 plus 4 equal to 10. Okay. So what we want to add here? In the
5.
reactant side? Yeah, very good. It is 5. So this is about this, balancing this equation. Okay. So just take it down this formulas. You're all K equal to degree Celsius plus 273.15. You're already write that, right? Yes. Okay. So just box the all the formulas. Even though I will write once more. First formula is K equal to degree Celsius plus 273.15. Second formula, degree Faraday is equal to 9 by 5 degrees Celsius plus 32. And third formula, mass percentage of an element equal to mass of an element in compound divided by molecular mass of compound into 100. And fourth one is mass percentage in solution. Mass of solute divided by molecular mass. Fifth one, number of moles equal to mass of compound divided by molecular mass of compound. Sixth one, mole fraction of A equal to number of moles of A divided by number of moles of solution. Simply Na plus Nb. Is all of you completed this one?
Yes, ma'am.
And seventh formula is molarity. Molarity equal to number of moles of solute divided by volume of solution in liter. Eighth one, here it is capital M. Be careful with that. Molarity is capital M. Molality is small m. Number of moles of solvent divided by mass of solvent in kg. Mole ratio equal to mass divided by molecular weight. Mass divided by molecular weight. If they will be given in the form of percentage, means molar ratio again, they may be a percentage given percentage divided by molecular weight. So these are all the some formulas in this chapter. So if you got any different formulas, include that formulas also if you go through the book. Shall we move to our question?
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll start with a simple question. How many grams of SO3? How many grams of SO3 produced from 1 mole of S8? 1 mole of S8. Options 1280, 1280. Second option 640. Third option 960. Fourth option 320. Fourth option is 320.
What is the second option?
Second option is 640. 640. So equation they are given is S8 plus 8O2. S8 plus 8O2 gives 8SO2. 8SO2. Then 2SO2 plus O2. 2SO2 plus O2 gives 2SO3. I will repeat. How many grams of SO3 are produced from 1 mole of S8? Equation they are given is S8 plus 8O2 gives 8SO2. Then 2SO2 plus O2 gives 2SO3. So we want to find out how many gram of SO3 is produced from 1 mole of S8. This is the question. First, find the molar ratio for S8 and then SO2. First equation. Then similarly, find the molar ratio for the second equation. Then consider with S8 and then SO3. S8 molecular weight of SO3 is equal to 80. Molecular weight of SO3 is equal to 80. Any doubt in this question? Find the molar ratio. Just from the given question. Take it on from the given question. Very simple. What is the molar ratio for the first question? Molar ratio for the first question. S8 and SO2. For S8 and SO2. S8 and SO2. So the molar ratio for this question is 1:8. So 1 mole of SO2 reacted, we are getting 8 moles of SO2, right? So this is the molar ratio. Similarly, find it for SO2 versus SO3. Then S8 versus SO3. So for SO2, SO3, what is the molar ratio? Molar ratio for SO2 and SO3. Yeah, what is the molar ratio for SO2 and SO3? Pranav and Shubhashri. Just take it from the equation itself. That's all.
Is it 4:1, ma'am?
SO2 and SO3. What is our equation, Shubhashri?
S8 plus 8O2 gives 8SO2.
Okay. So first we are taken with S8 and SO2, right? So S8 is 1 mole and then SO2 is 8, right? And for SO2 to SO3, 2 mole of SO3 reacted and we are getting 2 moles again, right? SO3. So 2 will be cancelled. So it is 1:1. SO2 to SO3 is 1:1. Ratio is 1:1. And similarly, S8, SO3, very simple. So S8 is 1 and SO3 is 1. That's all. So it is again 1:1. So for preparing 1 mole of SO3, we need 1 mole of S8. So what they are asking, what is our question? How many gram of SO3 are produced from 1 mole of S8? Right, 1 mole of S8. So what is our answer? No, it is not 8, is 8. So 1 mole of S8, 1 mole of sulfur, that is 1 mole of rhomic sulfur reacted, and we are getting 8 molecules of SO3. Okay, this is our equation. And what is our part? Very simple. So 8 into 80. So here the limiting reagent is S8. So molecular weight of SO3 is 80. So 8 into 80 gives 640. 640 is the right answer. Pranav, any doubt, Pranav? Did you understand the question?
Yes, ma'am.
So take it on the question. So it is little bit tricky. A sample of NaClO3. Sample of NaClO3 is converted by heat to NaCl. Is converted by heat to NaCl. With a loss of 0.16 gram of oxygen. 0.16 gram of oxygen. The residue is dissolved in water. Residue is dissolved in water and precipitated as AgCl. And precipitated as AgCl. The mass of AgCl in gram. Mass of AgCl in gram. Options 0.54, 0.54. Second option 0.35, 0.35. Third option 0.48, 0.48. Fourth option 0.41. So we know that equation. We know about that equation. This is our equation. So what happened? NaClO3 upon heating, we are getting NaCl and oxygen. First, balance this equation part. Both of you balance this equation. Number of Na will be equal to number of Na in this product side, and similarly chlorine will be equal to the reactant and product side, and oxygen will be equal to the reactant and the product side. Balance both equation, balance both sides. So what is our equation? Balanced equation.
2 NaClO3
Two.
gives 2 NaClO3.
Okay, very good.
2 gives 2 NaCl plus 3 O2.
Yeah, very good. So this is our equation. 2 NaClO3 gives 2 NaCl 3O2. Did you got Shubhashree?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So next is find the number of moles of O2 formed. Find the number of moles of O2 formed. Number of moles of O2 formed. What is the formula for finding the number of moles? Finding the number of moles.
Mass by mass divided by molar mass.
Very good. So what is the mass they are given for O2?
0.16 gram.
Yeah, very good. So 0.16 divided by 16 gram. That is the weight. Is it 16? Not 16, 32.
32.
Yeah, 32. So what is the answer?
Point
0.16 divided by 32.
Ma'am, is it 0.005?
Yeah, right. 0.005. That is our answer. Number of moles of O2. O2 is 0.005. So what is the next step means? So here, N mole of NaCl. Okay, N mole of NaCl. NaCl is reacted. That will be equal to this. What happened next? 2 by 3 of O2. So why it is on 2 by 3 of O2? So 2 moles of Na, 2 moles of NaCl. So here also we are getting 2 moles. So 2 moles of NaCl upon reacted, we are getting an 3 moles of O2. So N mole of NaCl will be equal to 2 by 3 of O2. Okay, 2 by 3 of O2. So already we are find out the number of moles of O2. So 2 by 3 into this 0.005. So what is the answer? 2 by 3 into 0.005. 2 by 3 into 0.005.
Is it 3.33?
3.33. Yeah, yes. What is the answer, Pranav? 2 by 3 into 0.005. Pranav, did you got the answer? Is it right, Subhashri? 2 by 3 into 0.005?
Yes, ma'am. I'm getting 3.33 only, ma'am.
3.33. Okay. 3.33. And what is the next step means? What is, we want to find out the weight of Ag here. Okay. So, NaCl upon reacting with Ag, so we are getting an AgCl plus Na. So here 1 mole of NaCl reacted with Ag, we are getting 1 mole of AgCl. Okay, both will be same. The limiting reagent is also 1 mole and the product we are getting is also 1 mole. So in this cases, what we want to do is the mole of AgCl should be 3.33. It is also similar. It is also similar to the NaCl. Okay, because this is also 1 mole and this is also 1 mole. And how do we convert the moles into this molecular weight? Mole into molecular weight.
We have to multiply into
Yeah,
Avogadro.
multiply into molecular weight of AgCl, right? So this is a 3.33 mole means what is the molecular weight of AgCl? 143.5. Multiply with this number 143.5.
Ma'am,
Yes, Subhashri.
477.85.
477.85.
85.
Okay. Actually, it is 3.33. Okay. It is not It is actually 0.033. Okay, it is not 0.333. Into 10 to the power of minus 3, you are missed. So multiply with that 0.003. Multiply with 0.003 into 143.5. Zero point zero zero three into 143.5. 0.003 into 143.5. Pranav, did you got the answer?
0.47.
Yeah, right. 0.47. That is, here it is matches with 0.48. The right answer is 0.48 upon rounded off. After rounded off, we are getting 0.48. Did you got the answer, Shubhashri?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So take it on the next question. Organic compound contains carbon, hydrogen, and sulfur. Carbon, hydrogen, and sulfur. The minimum molecular weight of the compound containing 8% sulfur is atomic weight of sulfur is 32. Atomic weight of sulfur is 32. This is a question. Organic compound contains carbon, hydrogen, and sulfur. The minimum molecular weight of compound containing 8% of sulfur is option 600 gram mole inverse. Second option 200 gram mole inverse. Third option 400 gram mole inverse. And fourth option 300 gram mole inverse. 600, 200, 400, 300. What is the formula for the percentage? Weight by weight percentage. What is the formula for this one? Percentage of weight. Percentage by weight or weight by weight percentage. Same formula.
Mass of the compound given divided by molecular mass of compound into 100.
Yeah. So mass of an element in compound. Mass of an element in compound divided by molecular weight of compound into 100. What they are asking? We want to find out the molecular weight of compound, right? We want to find out the molecular weight. So the weight by weight percentage they are already given. What is the weight by weight percentage of sulfur? 8%. And what is the mass of an element in a compound? What is the mass? What is the mass of sulfur?
32.
32. Yeah, it is 32. And molecular weight we want to find out into 100. So just substitute all the given formulas here. You get the answer. That's all. So just substitute the options. Otherwise, you will go with the calculation. That is also okay.
$400.
400. Yeah, very good. So 32 into 100, 3200 divided by 8, we are getting a 400. So 400 is the right value. The molecular weight of the component is 400 in here. Okay, very good. Did you got it, Shubhashri?
Yes, ma'am.
Next question. One gram of carbonate on treatment with excess HCl produce 0.01186 moles. 0.01186 moles of CO2. 1 gram of carbonate on treatment with excess of HCl produces 0.01186 mole of CO2. The molar mass of M2CO3. Molar mass of M2CO3. Options 118.6, 118.6. Second option 11.86, 11.86. Third option 1186, 1186. Fourth option 84.3, 84.3. So we want to find out the molecular weight of carbonate here.
Ma'am,
Yes, Subhashri.
value for option E, ma'am.
Option A is 118.6, 118.6.
Yes, ma'am.
Second option 11.86. Third option 1186. And fourth option 84.3. Fourth option is 84.3. First, frame the equation. What is our question? 1 gram of metal carbonate, M2CO3, on treatment with excess of HCl produces a mole of CO2. First, frame the equation. Frame the equation first of all. So, M2CO3 upon reacting with HCl, so we are getting an CO2 that is already given. What is the chance of other product? Other product they didn't reveal. What is the chance of other product? Yes, both of you?
H2O and Cl2.
H2O, very good. What is the one more product?
Cl2.
Not Cl2. We have a M also, right?
Okay.
That is MCl, okay? Metal chloride. Yeah. Balance this equation. Balance this equation part.
M2C3,
Yeah, okay.
2HCl gives
Okay.
CO2 plus H2O plus 2MCl.
2 MCl. Okay, very good. So then we want to compare the M2CO3 with CO2. So due to this reason, formula here is weight of M2CO3, because they are asking the weight of M2CO3, right? We want to find out the weight of M2CO3. So weight of M2CO3 divided by molar mass of, they are asking about molar mass, yes. Molar mass of M2CO3, it will be equal to NCO2. So what is an NCO2? Why we are equating NCO2 with M2CO3 means it is also 1 mole, this is also 1 mole. So we are equating like this. Weight of M2CO3 divided by molar mass of M2CO3 will be equal to NCO2. And how do we get the molar mass of molar mass of M2CO3? Yes, weight of CO, weight they are already given. NCO2 is a mole. That is also there already given. Just substitute and tell me the molar mass. Weight of M2CO3, that is 1 gram. Number of moles of CO2 is 0.01186. So just substitute and find the molar mass of M2CO3. Yes, what is the answer? Subhashri, Pranav? Subhashri and Pranav? It is just substituting and finding the answer, that's all.
Ma'am, we have to divide 1 gram divided by 0.01186, no, ma'am.
Yeah, that's all, Subhashri.
It gives 84.31.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So the right answer is last option, 84.3. That is our last option.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So take it on the next question. For 1 gram of reactant, the maximum quantity of N2 gas, produced. N2 gas is produced. In which of the following thermal decomposition reaction? For 1 gram of reactant, the maximum quantity of N2 gas produced in which of the following thermal decomposition reaction? So the given values are atomic weight of chromium is 52 and for the barium is 137. Okay. Options are, these are all the given values. Options are 2NH4NO3 gives 2N2 plus 4H2O plus O2. This is the first equation. Second equation, BaN3 twice gives Ba plus N2, 3N2. And the third equation is NH4 twice Cr2O7 gives N2 plus 4H2O plus Cr2O3. This is the third equation. Fourth equation is 2NH3 gives N2 plus 3H2. So we want to find out maximum N2 gases produced from 1 gram of following reactant. Very simple question. If you just think, you will get the answer. Okay, I will give a clue for this question. Find out these molar mass first of all. Molar mass for all the question. Molar mass for all the question. For example, we'll take an first equation. So what is the first equation? Ammonium nitride. Ammonium nitride. Find out the molar mass. Nitrogen nitrogen atomic weight, hydrogen atomic weight, again nitrogen plus 3 oxygen. So find the molar mass. Molar mass of ammonium nitrate is 80 gram mole inverse, and then it gives N2. N2 is 2N2. 2 into 14. That is 28 gram. 28 gram mole inverse. Okay. 28 gram mole inverse. So for 80 gram of mole inverse, 80 gram of mole inverse, we are getting 28 gram of mole inverse. And we want to represent with only 1 gram, not with this 80 gram. So how much we are getting from the 1 gram? So it is 28 divided by 80 into 1. We are getting 0.35 gram. Okay. Similarly, find out this remaining 3 options and tell me the right answer. Very simple. Find the molar mass of all the reactant and then N2. Then move with this. For the 80 gram, we needed 28 gram of mole inverse of N2. We are getting 28 gram of mole inverse of N2. So we want to find out for the only 1 gram. So 28 divided by 80. Why we are dividing 80? Because this is 80 gram. We does not need 80 gram. We need for only 1 gram. So divided by 80 into 1, we are getting 0.35 gram. So it is similarly you do with this remaining 3 option and tell me which one is maximum in quantity. That's all. Yeah, what is the right answer? These are all the previous year questions, very, very important questions. So which one contains maximum number of grams? Yeah, Subhashri and Haridra Pranab. I already said how to do this problem. Why you are taking this much of time, both of you? Do fast. Find the molar mass. And the atomic weight of chromium is given, barium is given. Polar gaseous mixture is 1:4. Is 1:4. The ratio of number of their molecule, the ratio of the number of molecules. Option A, 3:16. 3:16. Option B, 1:4. Option C, 7:32. Option D, 1:8. Option A, 3:16. B, 1:4. C, 7:32. And D, 1:8. Ratio of the masses, they are 1:4. So we want to find out the ratio of number of molecules here. So what is the formula? We'll consider number of molecules. O2 will taken as a X. O2 will considered as an X. And N2 will considered as a 4X. Okay. O2 will be considered as X and N2 is considered as a 4X. So molar mass only they are given, right? Molecular weight they are given. Ratio of the masses they are given 1:4. So find the number of moles. Number of moles. So this is an mass of oxygen and this is a mass of nitrogen. Find the mass. Number of moles. Number of moles equal to mass of the element divided by molecular weight of compound. So number of moles. So mass is taken as a X for the oxygen and mass of N2 is taken as a 4X. And reduce into the simplest formula. Because they are asking about masses, moles only. In question, we want to find out the number of moles. Number of moles or molecules. So that is X by 32, 4X by 28. So it is able to cancel, right? 4 and 28. So if you cancel, we are getting X by 7. So X by 32, X by 7. It is not able to divide. So 7 is to 32. That is the right answer. Okay. They are asking about the moles. X and X are common, fixed. So 7 will be go here and 32 will be go here. So the right answer is 7 is to 32. Next question. The molarity of solution, the molarity of a solution obtained by mixing 750 ml of 0.5 mole HCl, 0.5 mole HCl with 250 ml of 250 ml of 2 molar HCl. 2 molar HCl will be the molarity of a solution obtained by mixing 750 ml of 0.5 molar HCl with 250 ml of 2 molar HCl will be. Options 0.975, 0.975. Second option 0.875. Third option 1. Fourth option 1.75. 1.75. They are asking about the molarity. So formula is, they are mixing the solution. So V mix M mix equal to V1 M1 plus V2 M2. Okay. V mix is 1000 ml. V mix is 1000 ml. Okay. Because 250 ml is the one solvent and another solvent is 750. 250 plus 750, 1000. So just substitute the V1 M1 and V2 M2 and find the M mix. That's all. Direct question. Just substituting the formula and finding the molarity mix. That's all.
0.875.
Yeah, very good, very good. Shubhashri, did you got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So take it on the next question. Excess of NaOH, excess of NaOH was added to 100 ml of FeCl3. 100 ml of FeCl3 resulting 2.14 gram of 2.14 gram of FeOH thrice. FeOH thrice. The molarity of FeCl3 is molarity of FeCl3 is given Fe equal to 56 molar mass. Molar mass of Fe equal to 56 gram mole inverse. And then chlorine equal to 35.5 gram of mole inverse. So find the molarity of FeCl3. Frame the equation first of all. Excess of NaOH is reacted with FeCl3. We are getting FeOH thrice. What is the chance of one more product? NaOH upon reacting with FeCl3 gives FeOH thrice. What is the chance of getting one more product?
NaCl.
Yeah, NaCl. Balance the equation. Balance the equation.
3 NaOH
Yeah, 3 NaOH.
plus FeCl3 gives FeOH thrice plus 3 NaCl.
Yes, very good. So find the number of molecules of FeOH thrice. So they are already, that is a mole, not number of molecules, moles. So they are already given the gram of ferric hydroxides. So here that is 2.14 gram. Yeah, 2.14 gram. So find the mole of this one. How do we find the mole? Mole?
Mass by molar mass.
Yeah, very good. Mass by molar mass. Mass is 2.14. Find the molar mass of this compound and find the mole value. What is the number of moles? Moles of an iron hydroxide? What is the moles value? Okay, so what is the moles?
Ma'am, for Fe, the mass number is 56 only, no, ma'am.
Yeah, right, Subhashri. Mass number is 56.
Is the molar mass is 107, ma'am?
Right. It is 107. Find the mole.
Ma'am, is it 0.02?
Yeah, right. 0.02. So here, if you see the equation, FeCl3 will be equivalent to FeOH thrice, right? So the number of moles of FeCl3 will be reacted and we are getting a same number of FeOH thrice. Both will be same here. So for the mole of FeOH thrice, we are getting 0.02, right? Mole of FeOH thrice is 0.02. So the same number of FeCl3 is reacted. Same mole of FeCl3. So this is also 0.02. So what is our question? We want to find out the molarity of FeCl3. We want to find out the molarity of FeCl3. What is the molarity formula? Molarity?
Number of moles of solute divided by volume of solution in liter.
Yeah. What is the number of moles of solute here? Number of moles is this one, right? Yeah, very good. So it is 0.02 divided by number of moles of solute. We already know that. Into 1000 divided by 100, right? Into 1000 divided by 100. Because they are taking only 100 ml. Excess of NaOH was added to 100 ml of FeCl3. So 0.02 divided by 100 into 1000. So with respective of 100 into 1000. So what is the answer? That is the molarity value. Yeah, Pranav? What is the answer? Very simple.
Is it 0.2, ma'am?
Yeah, 0.2. The right answer is 0.2. Pranav, do you have any doubts in this question? Or any other questions? Pranav?
No.
So take it on the next question. Subhashri, are you clear? Any doubts?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear, ma'am.
Yeah, these are all little bit difficult questions, very difficult, complicated questions in the competitive examinations. So take it on the next question. A plus 2B, A plus 2B plus 3C, A plus 2B plus 3C gives AB to C3. AB to C3. A is 6 gram. They are already given A is 6 gram. And B is 6.0 into 10 to the power of 23 atoms. Okay, atoms. And C is given in the form of mole. 0.036 mole. And again AB to C3 equal to, we are getting 4.8 gram. Okay, 4.8 gram. And atomic masses of A and C are 60 and 80 AMU. Atomic mass of A and C are 60 and 80 AMU. So find the atomic mass of B. Find atomic mass of B. This is our question. Yes, how do we find the atomic mass of B? Find the mole of A first of all. Mole of A. Mole of A, then mole of B, and then mole of C. Convert the gram into mole. Convert gram into mole. What is a mole of A?
0.1.
Yeah, very good. It is 0.1. And what is a mole of B? 6.0 10 to the power of 23 atom is definitely, it contains 1 mole, right? So for any kind of molecules, 1 mole of atom will be equal to the 6.023 number of atom. So it is 1 mole. And what is a mole of C? Mole of C? Mole of C. Mole of C? Already it is in mole, right? 0.036 mole. C already in mole. Okay? Okay. Which one is a limiting reagent here? Yes, Pranav. What is limiting reagent and which one is limiting reagent here? This is 0.1, this is 1 mole and 0.036 mole. Find the limiting reagent and which one is the limiting reagent here and what is the mole of the limiting reagent. Yes, Pranav? Do you know the answer? Yes or no?
It's C, ma'am.
C. Okay, why it is C?
Because it contains less number of moles.
Yeah, very good. It contains lesser number of moles. C1 is a limiting reagent here. Very good. So, any product is formed that is based on the limiting reagent. Okay, based on the limiting reagent. So, what is our equation? A plus 2B plus 2C, sorry, 3C gives AB to C3. So for the 3 mole, this is one is a limiting reagent. 3 mole of C compound is needed for getting an 1 mole of AB to C3. So we want to find out the mole of AB to C3. Okay. So for that, 0.036 gram divided by 3. That is equal to the mole of this AB to CO3. What is the mole? 0.036 divided by 3. Why we are divided by 3? Why we are dividing 3 here? இங்க எதனால நம்ம 3 ஆல டிவைட் பண்றோம்? எதனால 3 ஆல டிவைட் பண்றோம்? சப்போஸ் இங்க 1 இருந்ததுன்னா நம்ம டிவைடே பண்ண மாட்டோம். ஏன்னா both mole will be same. இங்க வந்து 3 mole of C compoundக்கு ஒரே ஒரு mole of product நமக்கு ஃபார்ம் ஆகுது. So that we are dividing with 3. Suppose இங்க 1 இருந்துட்டு இங்க 3 இருந்துச்சுன்னா 0.036 into 3. Okay? Yes. So what is the mole of AB to C3? Mole of AB to C3?
0.012.
Very good. 0.012. Then what is our question?
Find the atomic mass of B.
Yeah, find the atomic mass of B. So then convert this mole of AB to AB to C3 into molecular weight. Find the molecular weight of this compound. So what is the relationship? So mole we already know that. We want to find the molecular weight. Mole we already know that. We want to find the molecular weight of this compound. And weight also they are already given. Weight is 4.8 gram. So mole equal to weight divided by molecular weight, right? So if we use this formula, we are getting an answer, molecular weight. So mole equal to 0.012 divided by 4 equal to 4.8 divided by molecular weight. So what is the molecular weight? Molecular weight of AB to C3. Yes, what is the molecular weight?
Ma'am, I'm getting 400.
Yeah, right. It is 400. Then law of definite proportions. So already we know about the atom of A, molecular weight, that is atomic mass, and the atom of D also we are already know that. Sorry, C also we are already know that. So we want to find the in between B1. That's all. So AB to C3, right? AB to C3 is 400 and means. So A will be, what is the value of A? Atomic mass of A?
60.
Yeah, 60 plus 2x plus 3 into 80. Is it 80?
Yes, ma'am, 80.
Yeah, 80 will be equal to 400. Then what is the value of x? Find out the value of x.
50.
Yeah, 50, right. So questions are like this only. So we want to, they are not given the direct form. So we want to go with some formula, and then from that formula we want to find the answer. So it is somewhat tricky question. These are all the very tricky questions. Okay, I will give some questions. So you submit in the our mail ID.